gravity followers to swooning over stands. Here we go! We're not wasting any time with this! It's another day of summer with nothing to do but wait. Your schedule's surprisingly clear today. Ford usually has something going on for you to help with, and if not, Stan, Seuss, or the kids do. Time to find Fordsy. You pass through the living room and Mabel spots you from her seat at the table. Rose! I was hoping I'd see you. Come on, I want to ask you something! Mabel points down at the table with a raspberry pink-colored pencil. Her art supplies scattered across the table lay across various sheets of paper with brightly colored doodles and lots of glitter. You see a drawing that looks like a cross between Barney and a Godzilla, a page full of puppies, and a page with a drawing that kind of looks like you with... Is that Ford or Stan? Mabel's not finished with it yet, but the telltale jawline gives it away. You sit down at the table across from Mabel and suddenly get the same feeling you'd get at a job interview. Oh gosh, I know how that feels. I had my first job interview ever. Like 2 months ago. I never heard back from them, so yeah, I don't think I got the job, but whatever. Anyways, it's intensified when she pushes her organized chaos of papers aside and steeples her fingers over the table surface. Rose, I'll be frank. I've been trying to find a match for my grunkles for a while now, but I never seem to get their matches made. Sorry, a match? But then it's like you were pulled from thin air, attracted to the shack by a magnet of love. It was a sign, and this week just made the chemistry you share with him obvious. You know who I'm talking about, right? I do, Mabel, I do. Yes! Grunkle Ford's great with family, but he's still guarded. You're the first new person I've seen him actually get interested in. Maybe if you get to know him, he'll see that social interactions are so hard, and maybe love was on his horizon all along. Love? That's a jump to say the least. And anyway, though you've had the chance to share some quality time with Ford, you still feel like there's a huge part of his story that you're missing. How much do you even know about him anyway? And why do you want to get to know him so much more? Because it's Fordsy. He's Princess Unattainable. I will never obtain him. He will never be real. And I want him to be real. But he's not. Okay, that's enough suffering. Let's go. Mabel, Ford and I haven't spent all that much time together. Sure, we shared a couple adventures, but nothing. Adventures are the perfect bonding material. I know that firsthand. But you know what would really get this chemistry going? Talking to him? Pfft, what? No! I'm thinking something more romantic. Hold on, I'm getting an idea. I'll get everything ready, Rose. You just focus on falling completely and utterly in love. Matchmaker Mabel is back in the game. Just as you exit the talk with Mabel, you run into Dipper right outside the living room. And it doesn't seem like an accident either. His arms are crossed and he's looking at you dubiously. So, I heard about Mabel's plan. How do you... I just left the room. Yeah, well, word travels fast, and Mabel sends out mass update texts. His defensive posture softens a bit. Just tell me one thing. I know my grunkles can look after themselves, but can you promise me you won't hurt Grunkle Ford? Dipper, I will never, ever, ever hurt this man. I love him, and I will never, ever hurt him. You can trust me. Okay, Rose, I'm remembering that. A text notification sounds and Dipper checks his phone. And be ready at any time? For your date with Grunkle Ford? This feels awkward enough. No offense, Rose. It's just my Grunkle Ford actually going on a date? Do old people even date? It's kind of hard to wrap my head around. I hope Mabel doesn't ask me for my help tomorrow. I mean, I have enough trouble trying to date for myself. Mabel calls from upstairs. Hey, Tip-Top, I'm gonna need your help tomorrow. Well, never mind. During the next few days, you, Ford, and Dipper get further into the DD and MD campaign you left off on, and you have time to flesh Alex out to play meant Tyra's running on the team. Alex Hirsch. Oh my god, I just got that! Son of a pig! Really? God dang it! I just got that! Oh my god, what have you done? Dipper tells you the 3-person troop is typically small for a GD and MD group, but you've been getting the hang of the game, mostly from taking advantage of Ford's helpful nudges in the right direction. You've noticed Ford staring at you during the game sometimes, and you can't deny that you've been caught doing the same. After your fateful chat with Mabel, you're on edge and wait for her to pull something out of her sleeve. Every time she bursts into a room with fistfuls of crayons, you jump at least a foot in the air. But you've been doing your best to pretend everything's normal, or at least as normal as it gets in Gravity Falls. You've ventured out into town early today and did some tourist-worthy exploring, and ran into the Pines family at Greasy's Diner about an hour later. According to a giddy Dipper and an exasperated Ford, a door to another plane had appeared in the fridge instead of food, post-documentation and inspection, and lots of skeptical squinting from Dipper and complaints from Stan. Ford has suggested they all just wait it out. It was gone by the time you got back. You secretly hoped to catch a glimpse, but when you asked Ford about it, he assured you it was nothing special. Wouldn't even have ranked it among his top 10, he said, pushing his glasses up on his nose. After that series of fridge-related events, the shack felt quiet. Dipper ventured out with his camera equipment off to film something amazing, and stands in his office checking in with his sources, whatever that means. That leaves you and Ford both intently reading on the shack's patio. It's warm and comfortable, yet the overhang shields your eyes from the blinding summer sunlight. You glance over at Ford. He looks calm and collected, same as he's been all week. Conversely, you've been a little nervous around him ever since Mabel's matchmaking interview. It's not that you haven't thought about him in that light before, it's just that you never planned on actually trying it out. You can always ask Mabel to call off the matchmaking thing. After spending the past couple days convinced that Mabel was going to spring an unavoidable romantic situation on you at any moment notice, you'd rather not live with that kind of anxious anticipation. And if you can't tell, I am actually anxious and I'm out of breath. Oh gosh, I'm just like Rose in this moment. Okay, come on, Amethyst Rose, get it together. Deep breaths and calm down. It's just a game, it's just a game, it's just a game. Why am I feeling so anxious and nervous and sweaty? It's just a game. This shouldn't be happening. For it's not even real. And yet he's still making me anxious and nervous and... Okay, deep breaths, calm down. Okay, I'm having a panic attack. This is normal, this has happened before. I've always had panic attacks ever since I was... Oh my gosh. Ever since I was a kid, I've been having panic attacks. I know how to deal with this. I just need to breathe. Shit, I'm not even at the dating part and I'm so panicking. What the hell is wrong with me? Why am I like this? Breathe. Okay, I think I'm good. You settle back into your book, a paperback Ford lent you. It's jargon-heavy sci-fi with an abstract cover you probably would have overlooked on a bookshelf, and you think you're about to see the first glimpse of the plot after a 3-chapter introduction. You go to turn the page of your book, but the back door slams open. Mabel explodes onto the porch, armed with oven mitts and an apron. Oh no. Oh dear Lord. Rose, Google Ford, I need help and I need it now! Ford sits up with a wide-eyed look, fixing his glasses that had been startled off the bridge of his nose. What is it? Is something burning? Is something burning in the kitchen? I need help baking. Ford relaxes enough to leave a bookmark in his dog-eared novel and close it, but looks to Mabel with an air of bewilderment. Grenda's throwing him... I have no idea how to say that, and I'm not even going to try. Party for Marius when he comes to visit, and I volunteered to make cupcakes. I was like, yeah, I could totally bake a batch of cupcakes, but as it turns out... Smoke unflows from the back doorway, inevitably followed by the screech of the fire alarm inside. Mabel wrings her mitted hands and winces guiltily. I can't. Mabel rushes back into the house. You and Ford coming close after. You reach the door in time to see Ford, unruffled, drag a chair over to the smoke detector and disable it as easily as flipping a light switch. As for the smoke, you go straight for the kitchen window and open it, fanning the smoke out of the house. Mabel looks guiltily at you both, attempting to waft the smoke out with her oven mitts, now that you really get a low look at her. Oh, jeez, gosh. You notice there's flour on her sweater and the kitchen floor and the kitchen counter leading to one lopsided bag of flour surrounded by a similar mass of ingredients. Oh gosh, this is the date, isn't it? This is the date, this is the date, this is the date. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I need to calm the fuck down. Everything is horrible and everything is wrong and I can't breathe. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can't do this. Calm the fuck down, girl. Well, non-binary woman. Just calm the fuck down. You can do this. You got this. Looks like you could use a hand, Mabel. Why didn't you ask for help much sooner? I'm sorry, Grunkle Ford. I wanted to make them myself. She wilts under exaggerated despair. But I need these cupcakes, and I need your help. She points at Ford. And your help! Mabel then moves her pointer finger to you. Oh dear. Both of you absolutely need to help me with this. She looks between the two of you with those Mabel patented puppy dog eyes, and whatever will you had left to resist crumbles immediately. You pat her shoulder reassuringly. It's alright, Mabel. Baking is a difficult art, and even professionals have off days, and you glance at the oven that's still leaking lingering smoke. I think adult supervision might be good right now. Mabel nods, looking between you and Ford. Well, it'll be easy peasy with you and Uncle Ford helping me. You look to Ford, and Ford just looks questioningly to Mabel. Why would you need both of us, Mabel? Because we need to make like a bajillion of these, so many. This is a huge party, plus the more people that make them, the more love these cupcakes will have. There needs to be so much love in these cupcakes. That doesn't... Please, Grunkle Ford. You and Rose are super convenient, the only ones who can help me. Maybe Dipper... He's out filming, he won't be back till sunset. It's gotta be you two. Ford glances hopelessly out to the hallway for one moment, and Mabel gives you a conspiratorial wink when he's not looking. And then it dawns on you. This is your match-made date with Ford. I knew it! I fucking knew it! Oh my god. I'm serious. Out of all the fictional crushes I've had, Ford is the one that's made me the most flustered ever in my entire life of crushing over fictional characters. There is no competition. Ford takes the cake. Or the cupcake in this case. Oh, I know, it was a bad pun and I should feel bad. Boo! Thumbs down! -10 out of 10. It was so bad and horrible and I should shut up and I'm no good at comedy. Bah! Is it getting hot in here? Or is that just the oven? Well, please, 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 Grunkle Ford! Rose is already gonna help out, right, Rose? Yes, that's what I want. Hard picking up his pace, you hazard a look at Ford to find him looking oddly contemplative, now compared to before. He looks at you for a fleeting moment. You catch out the corner of your eye. His attention's back on Mabel by the time you register it, and Ford nods at her. Alright, what do we need to do? Yes! Okay, first rule in baking, wear an apron. There's never a wrong time to make a fashion statement. Mabel holds 2 aprons out, one scarlet red and the other white. You obviously and absolutely have no idea when Mabel even retrieved these aprons in the first place, but she's already picked out who gets which one. The red apron is tossed to you and the white one is thrown to Ford. You put it on and look down at yourself to read it upside down. Burn, baby, burn! Burn, baby, burn! Sorry, I had to. It was completely and absolutely necessary. Printed across your chest with a picture of a fiery grill beneath it. Fittingly, it smells a little like burning. Ford's apron has some green text you didn't quite catch, but as he lifts it over his head and ties it, you can read it clearly. You stifle a laugh as you read text now clear over his broad chest. My other oven is a Bunsen. Hey Ford, are you made of copper? Delirium? Oh gosh, I need to save this. Whipping up some romance. Hey Ford, are you made of copper and delirium? It only takes a second for Ford to blush pink with understanding, filling with the hem of his apron. He's so adorable. Look at him in his pink face. Just I want to take him and just hold him forever and pet his floofy hair and cuddle with him and this man is going to be the death of me. Okay, Mabel, what's our next step?
The second rule in baking is to know your recipe. It's got everything, the ingredients, the instructions, the temperature.
Ford looks at the counter and picks up a piece of paper. You guess it's the recipe. Judging by the frilly-looking photo of a 3-tiered cake on the back, he scans over the ingredients focused.
And the third rule in baking is to forget your recipe. But that's only if rule 2 doesn't work. It doesn't work out. How are we looking, Uncle Ford?
I was worried we'd be short on sugar, but I think we'll make it. Are you switching recipes, Mabel? There are ingredients listed here that aren't already on the counter. Mabel laughs loudly and attempts to clap Ford on the shoulder. She only manages to reach his elbow, and you suddenly suspect that whatever baked good Mabel had burned in the oven earlier was a fabricated failure. You glance at the stovetop. The open box of store-bought cookies sitting on top confirms your suspicion.
Oh, Grunkle Ford, you tell the best jokes.
That wasn't a joke.
Oh, look, we need flour, and I already have that out. Next!
Ford reads the list of ingredients aloud, and Mabel darts around the kitchen gathering them as he calls them out. You set to work finding the utensils Mabel needs. Searching through unfamiliar drawers, she points out to you. After opening nearly every cupboard, you come up with an array of mismatched measuring cups, 2 half teaspoons, and a dental tablespoon. Good enough. How many pancakes? Oh, fuck, not pancakes. What am I talking about? Jesus Christ. How many cupcakes do you need for tomorrow, Mabel?
At least 100.
You give her an undisguised look incredulity, and Mabel sends back a series of gestures telling you to go along with it, pointing at Ford's thoughtful face and mouthing,
"He bought it."
"So, since the recipe makes 20 to 25, we..."
"Quintuple the recipe!"
"Exactly what I was thinking. If we play our cards right, we could get an exact 120, making full use of the cupcake pan each time." You're bewildered that Ford doesn't question the quantity. Instead, he's starting to factor in how many acceptable cupcake pans he can find in the cupboards, grumbling as he searches through the clangs and dull thuds of other bakeware. "Oof, when is the last time Stanley..." "Ah, there they are. Looks like we have one that's rusted and one that isn't." "Rose, get the pan that's already in the oven, if we can manage to clean it."
"Oh no, definitely uncleanable. It's totally burnt. Batter everywhere. Rose, can you?"
Mabel makes gestures to disposing evidence of her baking failure, and you wince but nod. Seizing your chance while Ford's back is turned, you open the oven, grab whatever's inside with the oven mitt, and rush outside to drop it in the trash can midway around the shack. Turns out to be a couple store-bought cookies dropped in a muffin pan and left to burn to a crisp. You shake the cookies out into the trash, leaving you with a still hot but perfectly serviceable pan. "Mabel, sweetie, I'm sorry, but I have to be honest with Grunkle Ford and show him. Besides, it would be a waste to throw this away when it's in perfectly good condition." You return to the kitchen. "Look, the pan is actually fine! How lucky!" Ford gives Mabel a musing look. "Yes, how fortunate." Mabel gives Ford a winning smile, which must be enough because Ford lights up with a smile soon after, shaking his head fondly. You see that Ford has brought a mixing bowl out while you were gone, and wiped away most of the excess flour from the counter. He settles back into the role of recipe reader now that you're back. "I've already turned down the oven to the correct temperature." Mabel notably doesn't look sheepish in the slightest, still grinning in front of the mixing bowl. "So our next step is to add butter."
"I'll measure it out."
And so you settle into a rhythm. Mabel measures ingredients and tosses them in. Ford reads out the recipe, pausing occasionally to balance out Mabel's haphazardous method of throwing ingredients into the bowl, and you mix everything into a suitable batter. 2 ingredients later, you notice that Ford rolled his sleeves up to his elbows as he works. You could get used to the sight of him like this. Oh my. You didn't notice Ford returning your stare until he clears his throat. Apparently your oogling lasted just a moment too long. "Rose?"
Yeah?"
"I just added the cup of flour. You can stir it in now."
"Oh, right."
Ford adds another cup as you stir the ingredients together, trying to ignore how red your face feels. This is true. My face is actually red right now. Oh, I can't handle this. This man is going to be the death of me. If I die, know that it is this man's fault, but I'm perfectly okay with that.
Aw, look at you two working so well together. It's like you don't even need me to be perfect.
You know she's talking about the matchmaking, but Ford doesn't take it that way. That's not entirely accurate. You're an essential member of our baking trio. After all, who else is creative enough to come up with a unifying theme for all these cupcakes?
You're right! I haven't even thought about that yet.
Mabel, standing on a chair next to Ford to reach the counter, hops up and sits at the edge of the counter.
Lovey-dovey or lovey-dovey? God, I can't decide!
While Mabel works it out with her creative genius, Ford scoops out the last cup of flour, going to wipe the excess back into the bag with his fingers.
Wait! I have the perfect idea!
She lifts her arm in triumph and promptly sends Ford's heaped cup of flour flying. Ford fumbles to catch it but ultimately fails, and the cup, along with the bag, fall into the mixing bowl, sending a mushroom cloud of flour into your faces. Oh jeez! Flour cakes Ford's glasses, along with his nose, cheeks, and forehead, and the front of his hair to the point where the color is indistinguishable from his usual streak of gray. Mabel, thankfully sitting to the side of her perch on the counter, only got half covered in the explosion of flour, even though she's already got various spots of flour all over her sweater.
Oops! It's okay, Mabel dear. Here, take this and dust the flour off.
Mabel attempts to brush flour off of her sweater as Ford takes off his glasses, blowing puffs of white from the lenses and wiping them clean with the hem of his turtleneck. He managed to clear most of the flour off his skin, but he missed the spot. Ford? I'm fine. I've had many messier adventures in my time than a bit of flour.
No, that's not it.
Time to pat the floof. This is what I've been waiting for. Pat the floof. You reach over to brush it out. Ford gives you an uncertain expression, but stands still, letting you make contact. Your fingers only run through his hair for a second, but it was enough time for you to register how fluffy and flowery it is. You can't help the smile that tugs at your lips as you finish. I got to touch the floof. I got to touch the floof. I got to touch the floof. I know it's just imagination, but I got to touch the floof. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't deal. I can't deal.
You just had some flour there.
Did I? God damn it, this man. This fucking old man. This goddamn man is going to be the fucking death of me. I know I've said this a million times and you're probably sick of it, but he is. I am not okay. Mabel has stopped dusting herself off and is now looking between you and Ford with such anticipation that you're getting self-conscious under her attention. Ford seems to notice too, because he takes an unnecessary step back and awkwardly clears his throat. Right, flour. Mistake, let's fix it. The three of you take a moment to stare at the disaster zone on the counter.
Looks like the only thing we can do now is guess how much flour was added and scale the amount of the rest of the ingredients to match it.
I was going to start over, but that's a brilliant idea, Rose. Let's do it. Mabel, do you have another bowl for this operation?
Good thing I found this big mega bowl for mixing.
Mabel presents a vessel more akin to a tub than a mixing bowl. It's clean though, and Ford transfers the batter over.
Good call, Mabel. Are you secretly a psychic? No, it's just a little thing I like to call the power of Mabel.
She does exaggerated jazz hands, shaking more flour off in the process. The three of you laugh before beginning the post-flour mission. Due to the mishap, you now need 4 times the other ingredients to match the flour that got dumped into the bowl.
An inconvenience, but not impossible.
As you measure out more sugar, you spot Ford adding to the bowl by cracking 2 eggs at a time in each hand. Show off. The kitchen is quiet during the bustle of measuring, adding, and remixing, but after a couple of minutes, Mabel sighs.
What's up, Mabel? I don't know, Rose. It feels silly to talk about.
Nothing is too silly. Well, that's a broad statement, but the point is we're willing to listen.
Well, Krenda and Marius are throwing this party at Marius' yacht, right?
You have no idea who either of these people are, but you play along for Mabel's sake.
Yeah? They're really getting into that romance zone. Krenda even told me that they kiss.
Ford only gives this a mild acknowledgement, so you have to amp up the reaction zone.
They did not. They did so. Can you believe that? I seriously cannot believe that.
Ford looks lost as he continues to mix the batter together.
And I'm really happy for Grenda, I am. But sometimes I feel a little jealous. Grenda's like one of my best friends. I don't get why I just can't be happy for her without feeling this way.
Oh, it's okay, Mabel, dear. Everyone feels like that sometimes. I know I've done it plenty of times. All you can do is try your best to stay positive for her, even if you're feeling a little bitter inside.
And just know that eventually this feeling will pass. Really, everyone gets this way, even with friends. It doesn't mean you're a bad friend or anything. Thanks, Rose.
And anyway, if this is about the romance, Mabel, you're only a teenager. You might feel like you're watching your friends get married and settle down so quickly, but that doesn't start happening until you get to 25 or so. You're a wonderful girl, you're smart, pretty, and you can probably make a mean batch of cupcakes. I know that whoever you end up loving will be lucky to have you, and that perfect relationship will come your way in time. Mabel seems to brighten, and she smiles at you gratefully. Then she looks thoughtful.
Getting married. I wonder when someone I know will get married.
She's not specific, but Ford pointedly coughs into his fist. I give up. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Rip. I'm dead. Amethyst Rose killed by Ford's cuteness. May I rest in peace. In Gravity Falls. You're gonna have to bury me in the cemetery, Ford. I'm dead. All of it's gone. Bye-bye. Woo. See ya. I'm gone. I've gone to the big, big pond in the sky, as Detective would say. I'm dead. I'm dead, Jim. I'm dead. Fuck.
Wait, we need to make these cupcakes extra special before we can bake them.
I thought they already were. Weren't we going to split this into 3 parts, add food coloring, and marble them in?
No, that's just special. I'm thinking extra special. I'm thinking explosion rocks.
You mean that tiny candy that makes your mouth all tingly?
Exactly. I'm gonna go grab my supply.
Mabel dashes out to get the candy, leaving you and Ford alone in the kitchen. Oh no, now I'm dead. Now I'm dead. Scratch the dead before. This is the real dead. I am so dead. I am 10,000% plus infinity trillion billion dead. You can't get any deader than this. I am the deadest dead that has ever dead in dead history. Normally you expect the atmosphere to turn awkward, but you find yourself anticipating something instead. You get Ford to smile. I can't look at that. I can't look at that. I can't look at this. I can't look at this. Everything is... My entire face is cherry freaking red right now. Good job calculating how much we need to salvage the cupcakes. Ford laughs, leaning back against the counter. Oh, I just eyeballed it and adjusted based on the batter's apparent viscosity. No calculation involved. And well, I couldn't let all our hard work go to waste after you suggested salvaging it.
I don't get it. You wanted to start over?
Well, I had a whole plan in mind. We were going to quintuple the recipe, and now it's more like octuple. But I think this was the better route to take. Now that I think about it, that was the last of our flour. Oh gosh, I'm struggling to keep it together. This picture is killing me. I am in the process of dying. Wait, damn. Stanley needs flour for pancakes this week.
Would he take cupcakes for Alexis instead? We're gonna have plenty of extra.
Knowing him, I think the probability is very high. Oh, thank goodness. I was about to die even more. I was about to become even more deader than dead.
You were about to say something else, Ling, and to continue the conversation.
When Mabel re-enters the room, she's carrying a cardboard box stuffed to the brim with bright packets of explosion rocks.
I'm back, alright. Let's add these puppies in and make some cupcake magic.
You and Ford start helping Mabel decant the explosion rocks into the batter. Ford glances at you as you shake the last packet into the bowl. Both of you know that the customers of these cupcakes will get an unpleasant surprise from them exploding in their mouth, especially since the multicolored candy makes the batter look like unassuming funfetti cupcakes. Then it's time to split the batter and marble them in the pan. The 3 colors Mabel chose are deep purple, blue, and pink, which she says ties in perfectly with her theme. So, are you going to tell us what the theme is yet?
Nope. Let's get these into the oven.
Ford picks up both pans and sticks them into the oven to bake. There's still plenty of batter in the mixing bowl. You barely skim the surface with the first batch. You and Ford share another look.
Alright, it's time for the best part. Frosting!
What kind do we have?
It's not what kind we have, it's what kind we're making.
Mabel presents another recipe card. Oh, jeez. Thankfully, the frosting is far easier to make than the batter. By the time you and Mabel separate the sugary results into a few different bowls for coloring, the first batch of cupcakes come out of the oven 10 minutes ago and have cooled down on the counter. As Mabel puts it, they're ready to be Mabel-fied. Ford grins at her as he starts dyeing a bowl of icing bright pink. Decorating the cupcakes is by far the most fun part of the afternoon. The 3 of you sit around the kitchen table. Mabel purposely sits you and Ford next to each other while she takes the remaining spot, and you use different frosting tips to make designs on all the cupcakes. Mabel had finally revealed her theme to be outer space, because space is full of romance, and this way I can say the compatibility is out of this world. So the 3 of you cover marbled cupcakes in galaxy-worthy combinations of colored frosting. Ford, to put it simply, is delighted by the theme. His smile is like the shining stars in the sky. God damn it, he's killing me again. You're pretty sure the constellations he painstakingly iced on his last 25 cupcakes would pass this illustration in a stargazer's guide. In the middle of completing a second Orion, Ford gets some icing on his face. A drip of blue somehow made it onto his chin, probably from testing the icing to make sure it tasted good. It did, of course. Mabel kicks you from under the table. Oh dear.
Ow.
Shh! And she nods her head at her grunkle, giving you a meaningful look. The fork completely misses. He wipes most of it off, but now there's a streak of blue at his cheek, so you... wipe it off for him. Mabel watches you both expectantly, but you aren't sure you have the guts to do what she really wants to have happen. And instead, you're not sure Ford's ready for that. You opt for plan B instead.
Here, I'll get it.
You reach over with a napkin to gently wipe the streak away, hoping he doesn't notice how your hand shakes with nerves from the close proximity. Ford is also hyper-aware of how close the 2 of you are now, and you can't ignore how his gaze drops from your eyes to your lips as you inch closer to wipe the icing away. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my gosh. No, I'm not ready for that. I'm definitely not ready to kiss Ford yet. No. There, I got it. Ford's cheeks almost match his sweater.
It's so adorable.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this right here because this is already 40 minutes long and I am dying. So yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, my gravity followers. Peace and love in the sky and stars above. Bye bye.